What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my 2014 Toyota Camry Revitalization project. This is really the first video on actually me working on my car. And this video is going to be focused on the trunk release cable. Yes, I know it doesn't sound very entertaining or really, anything crazy, but I'm going to show you I felt really good fixing this, and I'll explain that later on, after the video. But Uh, for you guys, things you need to know. This commentary is obviously not live, as I'm sure you figured out. I had someone helping me do this whole, go through all this whole thing. So I didn't want to get them on camera and make them uncomfortable or anything like that. So for future videos, I will be trying to do a live commentary while actually doing whatever I'm doing, just so you guys have my thoughts in the moment, because this video was recorded, I don't know, it was recorded a while ago, probably about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. So for future reference, expect more live commentaries with these videos, but this is just gonna have to suffice for this one. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the video and see what's going on. So as you can see, I have my whole driver's side of my interior ripped out. I have the the driver's seat. I have the rear seat ripped out. I have the trims towards the floor ripped out. Seat belt is unbolted. Carpet's up. Wires exposed. It looks crazy. It's an absolute mess. Um, as you can see, the little right there, that little wire or cable, actually goes to my gas door hatch, whatever that right there. Um, that one, they share the same wire, the trunk release cable and the gas door, or the I don't know what you call it, but I'm not good with terminology. But anyway, they both run under the carpet into this little side seat backing. I couldn't take this out because there was a bolt that I couldn't get to. I didn't have a long enough extension to get to it, so I had to work with that in the way. As you can see, the wires run up under there, up like the where the seat backing goes, through this little access hole you guys will see here in a second, right there. By the way, this video is slowed down to half speed, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing and I can kind of explain it. That's why it looks like we're in the Matrix right now. Anyway, cable runs up the little arm on the trunk, and it clips into this little latch right here. So how this whole thing essentially works is, you can see that little metal ball with the wire. That wire sits in a rubber sleeve, and it slides freely in the rubber sleeve. So when you pull, and the other end's the exact same thing. It's a little metal ball on the wire. When you pull the trunk release cable or the trunk release actual latch at the front, it pulls that whole wire through the sleeve, and as you can see, it pulls this little mechanism, which pulls another cable that has the same configuration, which actually unlocks or undoes my trunk latch. A lot more complicated than what I thought it was going to be, but it's really not all that complicated. As you can see, this is the old wire that I pulled out of my car. As far as I could tell, there was really nothing wrong with it, minus the ends being kinked and a little frayed. I guess that's enough to make it stop working, because, I mean, when I was first trying to diagnose this problem, I thought for sure one of the ends had snapped, or maybe the cable had broke somewhere in the sleeve, as that's usually a common issue with these. But no, I mean, everything seemed to be intact. I could pull on it. As you can see there, I pulled on it and pulled more cable out, and there's no breaks. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, kind of crazy that little kinks can do that. But anyway, this is the second part of the video, with the old cable out. It's still on the floor, whatever. and now my whole car is reassembled. So I have the felt, or whatever you want, the carpet back on the trunk. Have all the little retainer clips back in. The little emergency latch release in the trunk right there. Um, there you can see the cable running along some other wires. Now I had to. This is a little ghetto. I had to zip tie these wires and cable to that little arm because there was some sort of trim piece holding it to the arm, but it snapped off at some point. As you can see back there, is all covered up. But yeah, it had snapped off at some point, and I don't know how or when, but I just tied it so the cable wouldn't move around when you'd open the trunk. As you can see, my rear seat's back in. All the trims are back in. It looks good. You know, dirty but good. Obviously, my driver's seat's back in. Uh, everything hooked up to the driver's seat, the airbag and whatnot. Car still works fine, still runs. I didn't accidentally cut any of those wires that were running by the door, bottom of the door, thankfully. But yeah, everything works well. As you can see, when I pull the trunk release, it makes a little pop sound. And then, you guys can't hear the pop sound, but it makes a pop sound. You turn around and, oh, look at that, it's open. So, all in all, I know, like, I'm not rebuilding engines or replacing, frames or rebuilding vehicles. This isn't crazy stuff, but I was excited because I was dealing with this issue for a good 3 years. And, when it first happened, it's obviously an inconvenience. So I looked up, kind of did some research on how much it would, take to take this into a shop and have them fix it for me. And all the answers I got were anywhere from $300 to $700, which is absurd to take off some little trim pieces, remove, the driver's seat, the rear seat, and then run a cable. It's really absurd, but I get it. They got to make their money. I can't hate on it. I'm a carpenter. I get it. We got to make our money off our skilled labor, off the hours that we put into the vehicle. And for me, this took me a couple hours. It wasn't a complicated thing. It's just obviously not something I'm used to. So, like trying to figure out, how I could take that like little side rear seat thing off that I ended up just leaving on. That took me a good 30 minutes of fiddling around with that until I just said, forget it. But yeah, I mean, in all honesty, something that would have cost me hundreds of dollars ended up costing me 50, I think, in total, between getting some replacement retainer clips, some trim removal tools, and the wire itself, which I could have got for like $10 cheaper off of Rock Auto, but I didn't know of Rock Auto at this point. So my buddy actually put me on after I did this project. So, it is what it is. It was a fun project. Very rewarding for me. I felt very good, and it honestly boosted my confidence when it came to actually working on my car. Because before this, you guys have to understand, I've never done any major repairs or even minor repairs to my car. Before this, the most I had ever done was try to fix a chip in the windshield, fix a weird volume knob that wouldn't work right, which was really easy. Like, very easy fixes. Take off a tire here or there, whatever. So, and this is by no stretch of the imagination a hard job. Like, this wasn't like, doing an engine swap or anything, but to me, it was rewarding, and it really boosted my confidence. It showed me that it's really not that hard to work on your vehicle as long as you do the right research and take your time with it. So, all in all, I gotta say, it still works. I try not to pull on the trunk release latch as hard anymore. I have a feeling that might have been what messed it up in the first place. But who'll ever know, right? So, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Again, these aren't really tutorial-based videos. It's kind of just me showing you the journey and showing you guys that it's not hard to do this stuff. It's not hard to work on your own vehicle. Are you going to get perfect results every time, like, like Chris Fix results? Absolutely not. And I've found that out since doing more things on my car. I've found out that not everything's going to be perfect, and it is what it is. That's what happens when you let your car, you don't take care of your car as well as you should. That's my case. I really haven't been taking care of my car as well as I should have for the past, I don't know, 3-4 years. Especially being out in the Mojave Desert. It's not a nice environment for your car. And I'm now starting to appreciate it a little bit more and taking more care of it. But yeah, you guys just have to understand, this stuff's not hard as long as you do your research and take your time. And on top of that, not everything you do is going to be picture perfect, and it's not going to be as easy as you may see someone else do something. So that's just some things you have to keep in mind. But anyway, I need to stop rambling. That can be for a whole nother video. I appreciate you guys sticking around this long if you have. Thank you so much for the views I've gotten on my intro video. I honestly didn't think it'd have as many views as it has right now, which isn't a lot by any means, but I expected a couple people here and there to maybe stop by, maybe see, this guy's doing some weird thing with Toyota Camry, whatever. Revitalization, I imagine the word revitalization will bring in a lot of people who are just, they're curious to see what's going on. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the content, please subscribe because there's plenty more coming. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've still been recording videos. I've just been doing it in my spare time and trying to find time to where I can maybe voice or even edit together some of these videos, as I'm doing with this one. This is the first one I'm actually editing. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I thank you very much for watching the video. And like I said, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, just stick around because I'll have plenty more things to upload. But until the next video, it's been a good one. I'll see you guys later.